Greetings, YouTube. After a couple of games, I've already formed my opinion on D.Mon. I think the community sentiment has already said enough. I hopped on a little late, and like 5 games in, I'd seen enough to know exactly what kind of hero she is. She is D tier. She might be the worst tank on the roster right now, and that's not even clickbait. We can talk about each of her abilities and what I think they could adjust and what they could add to make her feel a bit more fluid, but like her role as it stands is that she is weak, jack of all trades, master of none, but she's not even the jack of all trades. She's like the Jill of all trades. I don't know, I'm trying to make a Jack and Jill reference here. Like she's not even good at all the trades. She's just bad at all the trades, and she's still a master of none. You know what I'm trying to say? When you think about her brawl up close, making the swings at enemies, it's a lot weaker than Rhine or like Ramatra. Like her swings at 60 damage are just so bad, so slow. The swings are slow, and the melee just doesn't have like a roll in here. Like this is a 60 damage swing, and the melee isn't even fluid afterwards to do any sort of like meaningful burst to finish anybody off. Her swings are weaker than Rhine. If you play up close to against the Ram, like they'll just out brawl you. When you play for the poke in between, this is just infinitely weaker than any other poke. It looked fine in the practice range when I first tried her up. When you play in a real game at real distances and people are moving, it didn't feel very good. Like anybody who just pokes from a distance like this is just gonna be way stronger. Any other tank, excuse me, like Orisa or like a Sigma or even Mauga at that distance, burning them feels a lot better than that. So she's already weak at brawl up close. She's weak with her long range poke, and then her dive, her mobility. She's mobile on paper, but she just certainly doesn't feel mobile because being stuck on the horizontal plane kind of sucks. And it's not even like a true horizontal plane. Like Juno is a true horizontal plane like this, and she can actually climb a little bit if she like goes up against the wall. It kind of sucks with this mobility here because every time I press this, I'm just like sinking down. If I go downhill, the chase isn't great. You don't get that much resource to chase people. They can kite you pretty well, especially with all the, I guess some people could call it mobility creep in the game. Mizuki can run away. Like if you think about the recent heroes, Wu Yang can outpace her. Mizu can just Casio return and just like disappear, root you down. Like you can't really chase anybody. It's kind of tough there. So the dive is bad, the brawl is bad, and the poke is bad. So off the top, kind of already like playing what do you call it? You're already playing with your back against the wall in that spot, trying to fit like a role for her in the tank archetype. When you look at her hitbox, dude, her crit hitbox is actually ginormous. How do I like show the front of it? It's way bigger than D.Va's. And D.Va has the benefit of flashing the matrix and flying away. You have the benefit of like putting your shield up for a second, but that thing is 650 HP. That thing goes down really fast, and then you just have to like slide away, but you don't even get that much movement or slide to like duck out of place. And it's just really hard to engage on people. Ryan already struggles enough in super high elos where people kite you, although he's doing a lot better in recent patches. They've been buffing him a lot in recent times. But like the point stands, if people know how to kite you, you kind of just get owned a little bit. I'm like trying to chase somebody and they just take one jump up, like an M-Ray just taking one hop with his pistol, and now I can no longer chase him. I gotta pull out my pistol, and this shit is kind of weak at this range. I can't swing anymore. And even when I was able to swing onto some enemies, it takes really long to finish them off, like 60 there's like a little bit of a burst combo, but it's not fantastic with like the whole like lunging in with like lunge in 2 swings. Like I know you want the tank to not have true like too much lethality. You don't want another super tank, but she's just not a super tank at all. It's just yeah, that's like the overall opinion of her. So we can talk about each individual ability. So I think her HP pool is fine, especially given how big her hitbox is. I think the big thing that they could work on, the Plasma Saber at 60 damage, it is kind of bad, and it also just feels like the range is kind of bad at 4 meters too. Like it just feels like I have no reach. I kind of wish maybe the range was longer before we adjust damage and like maybe jump it up from 60 to 70. Just in case I don't have the math on all the breakpoints, maybe increasing the range of it slightly from 5 meters might be good. Apparently it's the same range as Ryan, but it just doesn't feel like it. That's kind of crazy to see that. I actually didn't realize this is the same as Ryan. It doesn't feel like it. You can do the whole like AoE swing where like, you know, if you turn your camera a little bit, you can swing onto multiple people, but like getting people clumped up like that is already a little hard enough consistently as well. Maybe like the true range here is the same distance, but maybe it just doesn't sweep across the hitbox doesn't swing across the character model as much. So the comparison to Rhine, despite it saying 4 meters on paper, isn't quite true. But the weapon, so I would say, yeah, maybe touch the range up to 5 meters off to start off. This is her baby diva, or sorry, baby D.Mon gun. It's fine. I don't really think that's a big deal. Power barrier, 650 HP. How do people feel about this? I did feel like it was kind of bad because like it was breaking pretty often into some comps, but like I think if we touch her other mobility and stuff like that, she wouldn't have to use it as much, so it's not like as much of a crutch. So maybe we don't have to touch the barrier for now. But okay, so range on the weapon first. Maybe not so much the power barrier. Propulsors. For some reason, this just doesn't feel that fast. You don't want to be too fast, but it just like I was unable to chase people. And again, I mentioned it right off the rip that you're stuck on one horizontal plane and you sink down. Touching on the mobility, actually outside of propulsors, I think one suggestion I was thinking of as I was playing her, if you don't want her to be exactly like a diva, where you have true like omnidirectional control of the flight, so you're not diva there, maybe the only thing you need to do is allow her to have like a higher base jump. Or maybe you can keep this jump, but if you long hold it, it goes like maybe M-Ray pistol height. And being able to do that consistently would be kind of nice. Like being able to jump like this as D.Mon would probably feel so much better. Map jump requires charging. I don't even want it to charge. So the comparison I make is I played a bit of like Smash Bros. And I think I mentioned this earlier on stream, but the word for it was quick hop, right? Where if you press the jump button really quickly, you do like the normal jump, but if you just hold it a little bit longer, you get like an extra bit of height. So if I just hold jump, I want to just go M-Ray pistol height consistently, and that could already help a lot with the fluidity. And then like maybe you don't have to touch the propulsors anymore, because when you have that sort of like aerial momentum and you like move around with the propulsors, it can kind of feel a little bit better. Oh, actually mentioning that, maybe we can lower her gravity so she doesn't sink so fast like this. I'm just like, her gravity, she could be a bit more featherweight, like a bit more gravitational control on the mecha beast suit, so you're kind of like a bit more smoother with the movement. Could be a little bit of an option. I don't think I would necessarily want true horizontal hover like this on her, but just a bit more airy. I played Deadlock, and there's like an item called Magic Carpet, and not necessarily like the Magic Carpet, but it like the gravity changes on certain heroes, like on Celeste or like anybody who buys Magic Carpet. So you're a bit more floaty, not to that extreme level, but just a little bit more. Could maybe like make her so she doesn't cannibalize other heroes in different archetypes, especially if you want to make her like the jack of all trades, master of none. Not too strong in one particular niche, but like have something unique to her. So maybe a bit more movement in that capacity, but it shouldn't match the mobility of like the Diva, the Doom, or the Wrecking Ball, or the Winston. Especially because she's pretty lethal. Well, she's not even that lethal with her sword or whatever, but maybe that's where we start. Now, Fusion Repeater, I actually just did a custom game where I turned off the cooldown of this, and it was still kind of bad. Like having this always available, or even on a resource meter, isn't even a bad idea, because there's a lot of times I'm just unable to ever go in yet. And because Reinhardt, if you can't go in, he's got a big shield and can help the team take space. I can't walk up and take space on this for my team, because I will melt. So I can't perform the same role as Ryan in that capacity, so I'm stuck just using my gun while I wait for an opportunity. Good players will never give you the opportunity to like get in, so you never get it, so you're just stuck like with nothing to do. So I experimented with this whole gun on 0 cooldown. Maybe it was like as soon as it expires, it was on a 1 second cooldown, then you're able to use it again. And even with that, it didn't even feel like strong. I didn't even feel balanced. You could literally turn off the cooldown here, and that could be a start. Surging Strike. So a couple of suggestions with this. This could get buffed from 70 to 80 damage, but I actually think the one thing you could do that would make it instantly better, especially if you don't want to mirror Angela from Marvel Rivals and have like a whole like, you know, skewer thing and like stun them and wiggle them around and kidnap people. That could be an angle as well. That's angle number 1. I don't know if you guys like that one. The other angle that's just nice and simple is this one could have omnidirection. If I want to like just lunge that way, just let me lunge. Just let me look up. I'm pointing here, just let me surge that way. That's it. You combo that with the extra mobility option of like maybe this lighter gravity, and the propulsors not, if your propulsors are active, your gravity is a bit less. That in itself gives you so much more room to work with, which means you probably don't have to use your shield as much or your gun as much, and that can already lend itself to making the other abilities feel better because they synchronize with the kit a little bit more. So like all these suggestions I'm making, I'm not saying like you want to add all of them. If you add one to one of these abilities, it might make the other ones too strong. They can all compound pretty quickly. So these are all just ideas for each, and for the Blizzard people and anybody who's watching, if I'm cooking with any of these, let me know. But I just think that's the simple option. So the other option again is the whole like skewer them with the thing, with the Surging Strike, I guess, and maybe like flip them over, or, you know, push them against the wall. I don't know. But I like mine where I kind of just go for just the mobility one. I want to just skewer this where I want a surging strike up here. Just let me go up there. Limit break. You know, I don't particularly hate the ultimate. I think it's pretty cool. It does cast a little slow, but again, if all the other parts of the kit get that little like quality of life movement and stuff, then this could complement it pretty well. I think it's cool that it's 20 meters. The 50% damage amp is pretty nice. I actually found myself missing this ultimate a lot. You know, it gives her a lot of HP. I actually don't think we need to touch this now. I think the other parts of the kit are a little bit more pressing issues because that's the neutral kit. The ultimate only comes up a few times in the game. It's not that game changing. It's fine. She has a decent, you wanted the other parts of her kit to be a bit stronger, and we touched the ultimate last. It's okay. Okay, let's talk about the call mech. How do I get demeched right now? Okay, I'm not gonna even demech to demonstrate this, but I think everybody here can agree this animation is too long. There is something about the remech animation that just makes me feel like a sitting duck. Anybody else feel like that? Especially if I remech in the open, I feel like I'm in the invulnerable stage where I could just get shot and get demeched again instantly. I can do this as well, right? Rocket bots. It's too long, right? Am I crazy for thinking it's too long? Okay, it's not just me. I think mathematically, what's the call mech duration? Eject. Eject is 1.4 seconds and vulnerability. I don't know, something about it. It feels too long and I can't move my character for a bit. So I think we can just improve that. That might help right away. I think the idea of being able to use it in the air right now and push people back is fine, but it's so risky because the animation is so long. So why would I ever risk walking up and making a play like this? By the time I come back in and have control, like I'm probably already dead if I ever remech in the open. So I'm gonna remech around the corner anyways. And you also can't go into the air to benefit from the, you know, the airdrop remech. I mean, you're in the baby pilot form, baby D.Mon anyways, so it's a little bit gimmicky with the air stuff. It's cool, but you know, the bigger thing is mostly the animation is what we wanna touch on. So what else is next? Stalwart being no knockback and slow resistance. I mean, sure. A nice one would be, I think the bruiser is too strong. Like her head is her head hitbox, her crit area is like this ginormous area. She could probably benefit from that being in the other sub-role too, honestly. This honestly might even fit her better because the bruiser is better movement speed as well when she's at a certain below half health. That could actually help her even more, but you know, whatever.
Play together, win together.
Okay, let's talk about the perks. I don't think the perks are actually that bad on paper. When I tried mecha mobility, it kind of sucks how when you hold power barrier, the propulsor fuel is reduced by 30%. The problem with like, you have to hold your power barrier to get the propulsor fuel cost reduction by 30%. So right now the propulsors consume 40% energy per second. So that's like 2 seconds, a little bit over 2 seconds of consistent propulsor use. If my shield is up, 30% less of 40% is what, 28% drain per second. So a little under 4 seconds of usage if my shield is up. The only problem with using propulsors with shield is up is that I'm already default slower because I think it stacks. Holding power barrier gives me a 30% movement speed penalty, and then using propulsors is a 70% movement boost. Overall, it's like just they minus each other out. So I think overall your propulsors, instead of being 70%, it's only 40%. I think it's additive, right? The dev stream basically said you get to move the same amount of distance as with or without the shield with the perk. Oh, really? Why is it, am I just anecdotally feeling slow? I don't have the perk. That's fucking why.
Love that for me.
I can just check right now. Where's speed? Show move speed at the top here. Move speed goes to about 9.35 at the top. Shield forward.
Boosting.
7.7. What? Oh, sorry, the distance you cover is the same, but you are slower. Sorry, not the speed, but the distance you would cover is the same. Honestly, now that I think about it, one thing you can just do to improve, when I mentioned power barrier doesn't have to change, why don't we just remove the movement speed penalty when you're holding it? I think if we remove that, she's still kind of in that could be another step too. This is not even fast at all, bro. They call her a mobile hero, but she's got no mobility. Telling me that just reminded me that we could probably do that for the power barrier as well. But in any case, mecha mobility, not my favorite because it's a conditional one. I actually kind of like the shield, especially if I need it in certain, well, this is matchup specific. But yeah, it's that. Okay, now finally for the major perk, I actually like the surging strike gaining 150% lifesteal. I think my camera is blocking it, but it does heal 105, which is actually quite a bit. especially if you don't have the resources, anybody in your team that's helping you heal. It heals 105 on a single target. If you hit multiple people, it's like 200, 210, 315 if you hit 3 people in the clump, which does hit clumps. And it's not a short enough cooldown that it can benefit you. The other one is the gun version. Some people think it's pretty, it is definitely an improvement. If you can never get in to benefit from Surging Strike, you should absolutely take the Fusion Repeater, especially if they play any sort of flyer, because it is a hit scan. If they have any single flyer, you just take Fusion Repeater, in my opinion. If it's a very brawl-centric people where they're playing clump, you take Overstrike. So I actually do think the perks in their design, where it opts into any playstyle depending on your matchup, I think that's a fine design. I think the perks are the least problematic parts of her kit. Actually, it's not problematic at all. It's using the wrong word. Her perks are actually fine, especially if all the other parts of her kit get cleaned up, to be honest with you. They definitely enhance it quite a bit. Will it lifesteal more if you hit someone under your ult amp? It will, because your base damage on the strike is 150% damage, 150% lifesteal the damage you do. So if they're amped, this could synchronize quite nicely with Overstrike for it to heal even more. For this gun though, it does deal 40, what was that, 42 damage per chunk, 84 for a headshot if they're bullet before 30 meters of distance. So Focus Fusion, absolutely fantastic with flyers and matchups you can't reach. So overall, the perks, don't have to look at that. But all the other things I mentioned on the other stuff are ideas to kind of smooth out her kit a bit more. And then if we do that, I think she can move from D tier to C tier. Okay, maybe B tier. But I do think she could, but you don't want to jump the gun too much early on in the season. This is a very first day impression reaction to how her kit plays. But I think this is the one where like a lot of people are not disagreeing with me. I think everybody here who's been playing her feels like she's kind of bad and a lot of parts of her kit kind of suck. I don't think there's anybody here who's said that she feels OP. Like she's definitely not there at the OP level, and she's definitely not at a level where, well, some people are just like, she's okay if you get pocketed or, you know, helped by supports. And I mean, at that point, any other tank would just do better. Like I can just think of like Mauga getting similar resources to someone hard pocketing me. They're gonna just perform way better. You know what I mean? She's the smoothest mobile tank. I just don't think she's that mobile at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like even outside of the initiators, like even like Ramatra, like this, I feel like I can chase people even better than that. Well, I guess not, because this is on a, well, it's on a, I actually have more time on Nemesis form than I would for the boosters, I suppose.
Play together, win together.
Mauga overrun, Orisa with the spin, gives her a bigger burst of speed. Not Domina, obviously. Ryan has the charge. Sigma with the floating perk. Okay, I'm not trying to make like the apples to apples comparison of the mobility. She certainly has, I guess, better mobility in a sense, but like it's mostly just the control and the planes in which she can access. If you miss the explanation on what I kind of want to see, if she just gets omnidirection on the Surging Strike, that's already a great first start. But yeah, that's my thoughts on D.Mon Day 1. Please leave your thoughts in the comments as well, and let's take this here. I think the hero has a really cool background. You know, being a cool mecha Gundam, you know, armored core kind of thing is a really cool archetype. I just want to see the hero be, you know, viable. As it stands, I just don't think she's very viable right now. All right, that's it.